If one of your goals is to gain strength, you're going to want to watch this video. Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm the personal trainer and running coach at Kathletics. Here at Kathletics, we're all about meeting you where you are in your fitness so you can approach hybrid training in a sustainable way. If you have a goal of gaining strength, you may or may not have already heard of the 5-3-1 method. This method was originally created by Jim Wendler, and it is typically over a 4-session per week lift schedule. So one day is going to be squat based, another deadlift, one bench, and then the other is overhead press. So within this method, over a 4-week period, you're going to see the first week be a 5x5. So you're going to be doing 5 sets of 5 reps of whichever exercise of those 4 that you're doing. Then the second week, you're going to be doing 3 sets of 3 reps. Then in that third week, you're going to be following 3 sets. So that first set is going to be 5 reps, second set is 3 reps, and then the last set is 1 rep. Then on that 4th week, you are going to be having a deload week. So this is going to allow you to pull back and recover from all that hard work that you just put in over the last 3 weeks. So how I transfer this over into some of my hybrid training programs, I actually use the 5-3-1 method or a rendition of it in my Sustainably Fit programs, as well as sometimes within my one-on-one coaching programs, depending on the person's goals. Within Sustainably Fit and Kathletics Trail, we have 3 lifts per week, so we eliminate one of those big 4. So the big 4, again, being the squat, deadlift, bench press, and overhead press. We don't typically test the overhead press while we still keep that in the programs, depending on where we're at in the phases. We don't maximize that quite as much or focus on that quite as much as the squat, bench, and deadlift. Now, if someone came to me as a one-on-one client and was like, hey, I really want to increase my overhead press strength, then of course we're going to focus on that. But specifically with Sustainably Fit and Kathletics Trail, we are not testing the overhead press to our 1 rep max. So the other thing with the intensity, so I had mentioned with Jim Wendler's method, you are staying within about 90% of your 1 rep max. What I typically do or program within the strength phase is that we're between an RPE 7 to 9. So as we went up to that 1 rep max, we would be pushing that weight a little bit more. Now, if again, somebody comes to me and is like, hey, I want to actually max out and see what my max is, then absolutely, let's use that 5-3-1 opportunity. So when we're in week 3 and we're doing the 5-3-1, so 1 set of 5, 1 set of 3, and 1 set of 1, we're going to max out that day. The great thing about the 5-3-1 method is that it is repeatable. So it is a 4-week cycle, and then you can repeat it again because you do have that deload week where you can pull back from the intensity and you can continue to show up and push hard for those 3 weeks prior, and then have your deload week and be able to recover and adapt to the training that you've been doing. Regardless if you're in Sustainably Fit or Kathletics Trail, you typically see the strength portion is going to be a 12 to 16 week block, and that goes on annually. So every year we're focusing on strength for a duration of time, and then we move on to the next phase. If a one-on-one coaching client comes to me and is like, hey, I really want to increase my strength on this specific move, then we would likely do, say, another 8 to 12 weeks. That's going to be focused on strength. We'll implement something else to have a little bit of a break from strength, and then we go back to a strength phase. So we're always wanting to improve and progress within those strength exercises. Another thing to note here is that just because we're following the 5-3-1 or a rendition of the 5-3-1 in our programs doesn't mean we're only doing squats during that time. It's more so focused on the intensity as well as the rep ranges at that point. So have no fear. You will be squatting, you will be deadlifting, you will be bench pressing all year long in some capacity. But again, when we focus on the strength phase, we are going to be dialing in and really pushing the weights, pushing that RPE so we can see what those numbers look like and maybe even max out if that's a goal of yours. If you're looking to see what our hybrid training programs are all about and see the 5-3-1 method for yourself, go ahead and click the link in the description to learn more about it. Otherwise, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and then be sure to like, subscribe, and then we'll see you in the next one.